And now, so you ready?
Yeah.
So what do you want to know about me? Let's go personal. What's a personal question you want to know about me?
Okay, Louis. 1 second.
No, what do you want to know? You asked the question. Forget that there's a phone here. What's a personal question that the Rob wants to know about me? I know I got myself into a can of worms, but I asked the question anyways.
Okay, you're right. Okay, here's my question for you. Louis, what gives you so much energy? That's my question.
So what gives me so much energy, is at the end of the day, is to go on and to see. At the end of the day, there's days like today when I don't even want to wake up, and I would say that there's days like today that I don't want to wake up, and like energy comes from me as a person, my soul, at the end of the day, and it's like I have the low ups and downs in the energy. You know, I do take B12 milligrams, but not just that's better than any soda or better than anything you'll see most people will say. But basically, at the end of the day, for me, it's not about how much energy I have. Right. It's about how do I continue going.
Right.
How do I continue going? How do I continue going to go forward? Yeah, I got it. It's good. How I get to go forward at the end of the day, for me is like as a person. Is like today I didn't want to get up. Yesterday, the last 9 days I've been trying to wake up at 5:30 and go to shul and go daven at 5:30. Wherever I get up and go, no matter if I'm sleeping in my apartment or my office or somewhere else, trying to like push myself through my traumas and like I was speaking to Rabbi Guys last night, and like at the end of the day I don't like myself. Right? I don't like who I am from all angles. Because I'm on ground zero, maybe because I have dreams and aspirations and expectations to go somewhere else, maybe because people think of things of me, but at the end of the day, like the energy is from my family, my friends. At the end of the day, I know my dreams of what I can do in the world, I know what I have to offer the world, and it's like the energy comes from within. Different people have different souls, Rebbe. Different people, you'll see. And I've spoken to some of the biggest, greatest men that ever walked, some of the wealthy. Like, the weirdest thing about me is, where I'm at, is like knowing, okay, I'm on ground zero, knowing that I'm lazy, knowing that I'm an unproductive person, but then when I am productive, I'm sitting with a guy like you. I sit with people that are some of the greatest men or greatest women to ever, like taking buses or cars, or like you would be like, Louis, how's that possible? So I would say, as Rabbi Bressler says to me, Louis, then it's that you're Kedusha. It's your holiness, right? At the end of the day, it's not about how much paper you have. It's not about how much money you have. It's not about assets, because I've made a lot of money, lost a lot of money today at zero, not knowing, with big dreams, with big aspirations, knowing, like at the end of the day, it's like, how do I go within? How do I, at the end of the day, I can have a dream that I want to have $1 billion service empire, that I want to have 24 properties, right? That I want to have a Kailo Shul Foundation, right? Have a wife and kids. At the end of the day, it's like, knowing that I'm on ground zero today with $50, $100 in my name, it's not about the $100 to me, right? Most people, it's like, okay, how much do I have in my account? I could have barely any food. I could sleep on the floor, I would say. It's like, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, what is your dreams? What is your aspirations? And then who's your connections? Who do you know? What do you know? And how can you get within? Most people, they wouldn't be able to go from one place to the next place to survive with nothing, right? I could right now be making 6 figures with doing books, right? Then I could be doing Geniza making 6 figures. I have a guy called me right now on the way here, says, Louis, I'm by your old shop. Where is it? I'm like, please text me. There's something I can help you? Great. So there's still people, they think that I should do something else. And then it's like, okay, what is your dreams? What's your aspirations? And like, how do you get there from zero? Knowing that you're one person. Okay, what's your successes? What's your things that you have to offer the world? Right? At the end of the day, it's like from a financial or business thing for me is okay, my creativity. I can push buttons. Okay, people ask me like, hey Louis, if you were to take on over a construction team, right? Versus you're building yourself, right? I'm looking now, do I work for your company? Do I what's his name? Do I go out and like build a team myself, right? Doing that with zero. You know, I spent $20,000-$30,000, but it didn't get me anywhere right now. Right now at this point today, I'm like, okay, I'm at the cross points. First of all, it's not just monetarily, right? I have a dream within construction, within real estate, within within artificial intelligence, 3D printing, robotics, Koilel Shul Foundation, Right Women's Month, and we could go a lot of places, Rebbe. And I know in this next hour, if I have an hour every time, how much time I have from you?
Right. I now
Half hour?
Half an hour. You for sure have.
Okay, half hour. And these 30 minutes, we'll see how long it is.
Okay.
I know that we can go many places, and you can be like, "Hey, Louis, why did you leave Hamish?" We can go to a lot of places here. This 30.
I don't want to go there.
So yeah, there's a lot of different angles we could take this conversation, and hopefully we'll be able to do another conversation. It's a person, and that's why I'm a little torn. Do we do it on camera? Do we not? Because it's very personal. So I don't have to send it anywhere if you don't want. What's your question? I don't know if that helped you or if that didn't help you. Personal.
Here's the thing. Let me explain. Maybe I didn't explain my question so well. Maybe the question is not where do you have your energy from. You're right. God gave you. You're a high energy guy. But what really is like this. Normally, a guy. Let's say a guy who's a simple, guy. Mexican worker that works. His hasagos, which means his dreams of what he wants to accomplish, are like just above where he is right now. He wants to know that every week he has like $500 that he could put in his pocket, he could spend it, and that's his entire dream of life is to make that $500. Now you, and normally the guy who's low down on the totem pole, even though he has the suckers that are just
even though I get a few $1,000s every month just now for my past things, that doesn't interest me. All right, and yeah, can I make 50, 100? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll go work for something for the time being. I don't know. I don't know where my next thing is. I heard your question. I understand your question because you're not the first person to ask the question to me, Ruben. There's 1,000 every day of my life I get this question. So you're asking two-part question. Where do you get your energy from davening? That's one part of the question. I'm gonna break down your question. There's a lot of questions in that question.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, where's your life been to get to this point at 25 to have these dreams?
Right.
And then, hold up, Rebbe, there's a lot of questions, and you're a very deep person. You come with a very plated, and so I think it's really your soul. I'm gonna go back to, it's your soul and your Kedusha. I'm gonna take this like 9 different ways that you wouldn't expect me to take this. I'm gonna go a different way. I'm gonna say, yes, it's my Kedusha, yes, it's my learning davening. Like today, I just said brachas. I didn't daven and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Some days I daven at 6 p.m., 8 p.m., some days I daven at 6 a.m. So I don't think it's just the davening, it's about connecting with Hashem. It's having a relationship with God that at the end of the day, my life has been a very interesting role. I didn't keep Shabbos. I watched videos on Shabbos. I didn't like Shabbos. Now I'm not even working on Friday. I told myself I'm not working at all Friday. Friday, Shabbos, I'm not working. No matter if you have $1 million offer, I'm not working. I was reading, happens to be about Chavetz Chaim told a guy 6 days last night. And I want to ask from just the futures of the world. I want to learn, but I have so much to learn from Rebbe. So the answer to Rebbe's question is, at the end of the day, I know what it is to make $1 million. I was listening to this guy, how he, just before him, AJ Osborne, his name is, you'll look him up. He's made hundreds of millions in self-storage. And the guy from his team yesterday called me, he's like, hey, do you want to pay $7,500 for a course? It's a lot of money, but I've lost $5,000. I've lost 10, I've lost 20, I've lost 300 grand. So the decisions I've made in my life are big and small. I just recently lost 2 lots. I lost a house in Detroit that I'm still battling daily, weekly from the DLBA. I don't know if you know what that is, the Detroit Land Bank Association. So I deal with a lot of people from storages, from past things to future things on my day-to-day that I know, okay, my dreams, even though I'm sitting in bed or on the floor or not doing, I do so much, but then I do nothing. So it's like at the end of the day, my dreams and asagas and knowing my relationship with Hashem is so high, probably more than even Rebbe's, more than most people, because I have a broken soul. And at the end of the day, it's like, I know I'm nothing today. I know that this life, I'm a nothing. But you have Rebbeim that I got to know that are not here. Like yesterday, 2 days ago, Rebbe of mine was Nifter.
Rabbi Oberlander.
Yeah, I was very close with him. He only lived 46 years. So it's not about how much time we have on this planet. It's about what do we do every day. Today I saw something from a student of his. He had thousands of Talmidim around the world. And Rabbi Oberlander was not the greatest man, but he took on so many different things. And when he was with somebody...
Look, my son also considered him a tremendous Rebbe, a tremendous role model. So Yeah, I know that. I know that he was huge, you know, and he had his own mileage. People are always like talk about Rabbi Kalish, but Rabbi Oberlander on the down low,
He ran the whole yeshiva for 8 years
it.
officially.
You need a person who's not only hot head in the sky, but feet on the ground.
Yes, I don't have that yet.
And he was the feet on the ground guy that made things happen, that brought things from A.
Now Rabbi Yitz Brownstein is the guy.
Who?
Rabbi Yitz Brownstein is that guy now.
Now, okay, but I'm just saying that's who it was back in the day.
But I'm past the Waterbury stage now at this
I
point.
know.
This is the first Shavuos I didn't go back. I'm technically past that stage, getting into marriage, wife, and kids, and the business. Not just business, running shuls and kollels and foundations and having an island, you know, and doing things that like Rabbi Yaakov Yosef Herman, you know, at the end of the day, it's not about how much money I have or where I'm going to live. It's about like how do I work on internally, and I know my impact is going to be thousands of people when I'm not here. Even a person like myself will go down in history from within here, not because I sold a book, or not because I made a video, or not because I did a real estate transaction, or not because I went into a diplomatic key or a place or anything. I've gone into all those at 25, and my dreams today, I'm a failure today. At the end of the day, today I'm a failure. But because of where my dreams and aspirations to be at 50 or 55 at your age, Rebbe, if I'm still working at 55, and I don't know where that could be. I could end up in the hospital tomorrow, and I know these might be broad words, what I'm saying. Because I sit with you, Rebbe, and I, you know, versus when you sit by yourself, you think different. Like, how's Rebbe's journey been to here? And then, like, it's a two-part question. Like, how can Rebbe's journey give me to my Kedusha, to my holiness, to basically to that? And then also, where does Rebbe see the future of the world?
Excellent. Those are big. Now you're asking me big questions, but and personal questions. But I want to share with you, I guess, a few ideas. Number one, what I'm pointing out, and this is something that I guess is something you have to be really proud of, because most people don't have high hasagas, and that's to me a machlas hador. This generation, their concept of high hasagas is that they can read a Gemara, or that they can, that's in learning, or that they can, even have a comfortable business or whatever. They don't. Their hasagas aren't, well, I want to do nothing less than change the world. Okay, that's very rare. And usually the hasagos are usually, well, you grows with where the person is. So like, let's say I already wrote my book, I already made my first million, so my hasagos grow. I want to make my first billion. I want to do something more. That's what grows your hasagas. You rarely have someone who is on his own words, the middle of nowhere, no place, and the hasagas are still exactly so high.
Because at the end of the day, I've been there. I've seen papers. I've seen a bank account with $300,000, and then a day later, nothing. So when you've been there and you lost $20,000, to answer your question,
it doesn't change that. You're right.
At the end of the day, when you lost so much, and then you realize, because the bank account today, and I have debt collectors calling me right now for $400, $4,000, and I'm like, at the end of the day, it's here. Because I know you can call me and I can pay you from New York City today, yes. And I can wake up at 5:30. I can have a schedule. But I don't think that's going to be my testimony and my life when I'm dead. At the end of the day, the Rav's testimony, at the end of the day, he set his stone where his life's, what they're going to say when he's not here. They're going to say that he was a Rebbe, he was a teacher, he was Admar in Gemara and davening and learning. Respectfully, you already set, you don't have to like it, but you set as to be a visionary teacher. Louis not going to be wrote. They're not going to write on my tombstone or when I'm not here, Louis was the greatest teacher. Yes, I can learn. Yes, I can daven. Yes, I can give over a Dvar. But that's not what I'm going to be. I'm not going to be known for that, and I don't want to be known for that. I'm going to be known for either the charities I've done, or for the Achnas Sorchim, or just tapping into being vulnerable to people. Like at the end of the day, like you learn from people like yourself and Rabbi Oberlander and great minds and this past generation future. I've sat down with Reb Chaim. I've been by Reb Chaim. I've been by my grandfather. I've been by some of the greatest minds. I've spoken. How many people get 20 minutes with a guys this time? Random Monday night. Because I am a douche. And that's the problem with me is that I have my traumas, right there. So I'm spilling seed, right? Looking into artificial intelligence, looking into 3D printing, robotics. How many people do you know are ready to challenge, what's his name, that rabbi who came to Houston, whatever, from Israel, from the mayor. How many people? Rabbi Elephant. Obviously, I've had my own personal debates with him years before that thing that happened, by the way. That most people don't know that. But a lot of, and I've challenged my grandfather, one of the greatest lamdim of this generation. He'll go down for sure, and the greatest Bahar is Rabbi Yisrael Tappan Shlita. In BMG.
He's well known, right.
So your family, at the end of the day, your family and people could be well known. Then you don't put a one in front of the zeros. Right. It's like, how do I, Louis Tappan, do something? It's like, that's my hardest thing. So Rebbe, so I want to know, where do you see the future of the world? Someone like myself, that when you meet somebody like me, who can daven, who does things differently, and most people don't like them, and just in their personal life, they don't like themselves. What do you say to that person, and where do you see the future of the world?
Okay, so it's really, the questions I don't think are exactly connected, so I'll try to do one at a time.
Yeah, sure.
But the first step is, what I think is very important, is that part of my question to you, which is really where I'm going back from, and I think it really comes to the answer. Sometimes a good question is the future answer. So my question to you was, how does someone who's in the place where he's on the bottom get such high asagas? That's a good question, but what I really want to know is that, not what I want to know, what I want to tell you is that you have to have, at the same time, you have to know how not to get discouraged.
It's the belief.
Right. You can't lose faith in yourself. That's the key thing in life. You always have to believe in yourself. And one of the biggest things I think is the problem, a problem of this generation in particular, is people just think they can't do it anymore. They're not capable. Everything that we thought is impossible, maybe is possible. Everything you thought that you can't do really could be done. Part of the problem, give an example, okay? Every time somebody basically breaks a world record, the next year they break it by a little more. How does that happen? And then they broke the world record. It was like impossible. Nobody thought they could run a mile in that short a time, or whatever it is. And then one guy breaks it, and then the next guy can break it, and then the next guy, and then they break it, and they even beat each other. How does that happen? Because they're limited by their self-limitations. You understand that? They are created they didn't believe that it's possible, so that's why it was impossible. Really, that's a Dvar Torah on this week's Parsha. We have Parsha Shalach. Part of why the Jewish people weren't able to enter Eretz Yisrael is because they didn't believe in themselves. They thought, there's no way we could win. We are not worthy. And that was the problem. That's when you're so convinced that you can't do it, then you really can't. So what you have to realize, and to me this is one of the most important things that I'm talking to you, Louis, for your own life, is not to get discouraged by where you are, and in fact to get encouraged by where you want to be, because you're already ahead of the game than anybody else who wants less than that, who doesn't want to make such an impact on the world like you do. You understand? So that's, to me, the key thing.
I mean, like, today people ask me why I make videos on real estate, construction. They're like, Louis, just go do real estate. I have done a little bit in real estate on paper, but I've done a lot more from the last 5 to 10 years, from 14, 15 in wholesaling, whatever the leads I have, if anyone knows. I have a pretty crazy leads because I've worked on that. But I think it's all the team. It's the people you have around you and then you're able to connect with, like a Rabbi Nagel, right? At the end of the day, I think you could have big dreams, but at the end of the day, like for me, it's like, okay, even if I made X amount, I got the portfolio in real estate, for me, I know the reason why I connect with so many people in construction real estate is because I want to change the laws in construction. in real estate, right? So people don't know that about me. They think, and I have done a little bit, and I will do a lot more. But it's really the beliefs, okay? You have to dream big. I think most people don't dream big. They only just take on paper, oh, I ran a bookstore. I'm involved in 5 bookstores, right? Or Geniza. Or they do real estate. They have 10 properties, 20 properties, 100 properties, right? The Rav has done a little bit himself, right? And he's like, oh, now I should be a Rav. Most people, they become a Rav, and then they're like, oh, the guy comes and offers me a deal. He comes and offers me, oh, how can I help you in this deal, and that lead, and these things. And most rabbis today, and this might be very controversial, I believe, take a look at COVID, they'll fold if you give the right amount of money. There's a certain amount of money, 99.9 rabbis will fold if you give them if you're an ex-donator, right? But I believe it's the belief within you. I think it's the belief in you that if you're like, okay, I know I can build $1 billion service empire. I can have 24 properties in X time, right? I can have a wife, kids. I can build an artificial intelligence, 3D printing, robotics, construction app, or whatever. It's the belief inside my head, my mind. And it's also the Rav to look at yourself, okay, then take a look at myself and be like, oh, hey, the people, they challenge me because they don't like certain things. And then I have a Yetzer Hara that's so high. Because I have a Yetzer Tov that's so high.
It always matches.
It's like, that's why it's davening is harder for me than most. I would say that's why learning is harder for me than most. I would say, and that's why I don't believe in most rabbis. I don't